Welcome to mid-October. Hope you're doing really well. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. So on this video, we're gonna talk about weight loss and how to sort of leverage the carnivore diet to do such a thing. And we're gonna go into three main points that I think are critical when you're on the carnivore diet to actually lose weight. But we're also gonna be talking about, before we even jump into those, the reasons briefly about why one would even want to explore the carnivore diet, why it might even be possible to lose weight on the diet, and what we can do about all of this. So stay tuned and let's get right into it. So again, as I mentioned, I have 3 points I want to share about what you can do to really dial in the carnivore diet so that you're actually losing weight. But before we get into those points, let's stop for a moment and just ask ourselves what the deal is. Like, why would you even consider the carnivore diet for weight loss? So the carnivore diet came out and became sort of popular about a year ago. I personally been on it for about 10 months, and what popularized it was a sort of derivative of a ketogenic diet, meaning it was even more targeted, more specific than the keto diet, and it allowed a lot of people to find things within the keto diet that were actually triggering them. So it is a powerful elimination diet. When you eliminate foods that trigger you, cause gut issues, cause inflammation, you are going to feel better and you're gonna look a lot leaner and healthier. So it is a low inflammation diet. Secondly, it's a subset of a ketogenic diet, so it's a low carb diet. Anyone who knows anything about weight loss will know that for a lot of people, what kicks it into real high gear is the elimination of sugar, elimination of processed refined carbohydrates. Really, the elimination of carbohydrates in general is going to be probably beneficial to most people from a metabolic, longevity, health perspective, and certainly is going to eliminate the factor of things that you have in your body that can be stored into your fat. When your body runs on sugar and carbohydrates, you're no longer in ketosis. When you're in ketosis, you're running on molecules called ketones. So when you have excess sugar in your blood, your body produces insulin. The insulin is a hormone. It tells your cells, your fat cells, to open up and accept the extra sugar to kind of regulate and tightly balance the blood sugar. And that's how you get fat. You eat sugar, you eat too much of it, your body stores it as fat, and you become large. All this is going on, the carnivore diet is also much easier on the gut for most people. They're gonna find that gut issues really vanish. They get rid of things like plant toxins, molecules like lectins, oxalates, gluten, things that have been triggering that we've known can cause inflammation and leaky gut. They get rid of all this in the carnivore diet. So again, when your gut is functioning properly, when it's not being inflamed, when you're not constantly in an autoimmune battle with your own body about what you're eating, you're going to have lower inflammation. You're going to look leaner and cleaner and healthy. It's also very nutritionally dense. So when you eat red meat or a steak or even pork or chicken, a lot of times those meals are going to be highly satiating. They're very rich in nutrition. They have high caloric density. You're also eating a lot of fat, so you're getting a lot of the nutrition that you want, that your body really can utilize. Because these meals are much more full calorie, not empty calories like what you would get from like eating fruits and some vegetables where there's just not a lot of vitamins and nutrients in them, and they're just empty calories that are basically bumping up your overall calories without actually giving you nutrition. Your body craves more and more food. So again, several reasons why the carnivore diet has become popular for many people, and definitely reasons why we see a lot of people losing weight, more or less changing body composition and getting better mood and other benefits. So let's get to the meat of the video. There's 3 points I want to mention about the carnivore diet. And I have several other videos about specifics on the carnivore diet, but if you're here for weight loss, there are 3 things I think you should really consider. And the first one, and this is more advanced, so if you're new to the carnivore diet and you're coming from more of a standard American diet, even just switching to an attempt to complete the carnivore diet, you may not need this. But the first one is learning to track your macros. I just did a video earlier in October about how to learn to track your macros, and I highly recommend you check that out. It basically walks you through how to set up your profile, set up your body weight, your body composition, and your goals. If you're wanting to lose or gain weight, you set the goal there, and then based on your body composition, whether you're male or female, and kind of where you're situated, it's gonna tell you what your total goal for calories is and how many you can do. Macronutrients are things like protein, carbohydrates, and fat. Micronutrients are things like vitamin A, vitamin B, C, D, and E, as well as minerals. Those are the micronutrients. You need macronutrients for fuel for the building blocks of your body. You need micronutrients to kind of keep things running in tip-top shape, to really make sure we have all the pieces and components we need to do the proper building and running. So tracking macros is critical because it is very easy to overeat. We tend to have poor judgment when it comes to tracking how much food we're actually eating. When you're on the carnivore diet, because you're literally putting very nutritionally dense food on your plate, you can overeat. Yes, you're gonna be more fulfilled and more satiated, but at the same time, it's not hard for me to put 100, 150 grams of suet on a plate and then go, oh wow, that's like 1,500 calories of food right there. And my whole goal for the day is only 2,500, 2,600. So again, having this specifics and learning to track your macros is really, really valuable. The other thing it's gonna help you do is stay ketogenic. So when you're tracking your macros, you can see how much fat to protein you're eating, and the app will actually automatically calculate it. So when you weigh it out, you'll know what percentage, what ratio of keto versus going back and getting more protein or even getting carbohydrates you're actually getting in your diet. And it's gonna keep you more true to kind of the diet itself and where you're going. So track macros. This leads me to point 2, which is keep it keto. You've got to keep this diet ketogenic. That means really focusing on a 2-to-1 calorie intake of fat to protein. More or less what I like to do is aim for 75 to 80% fat in my diet. And I use my macro tracking to see where I'm at. And oftentimes I hit 80%, and I feel really good at 80% fat. And I find that if I go lower than that and go to like maybe 60% fat versus 40% protein, I tend to feel a little bit more sluggish. I tend to feel like I've maybe been converting more of that protein into sugar than I need to. And again, the ketogenic aspect of this diet is really powerful. Anytime you're going into a keto diet from a carbohydrate-based diet, you're probably, especially if you already have excess body fat, are going to see that fat melt off. It's going to be converted. Your body is now using fat as its primary energy source. And so you have plenty of reserves that your body can naturally and very easily metabolically tap into to power itself. The ketogenic diet is really powerful. When you're doing the carnivore diet and it's ketogenic, it's even more impactful because you're reducing the inflammation, you're focusing on highly nutritious, dense foods, and you're eliminating plant toxins and molecules that are most likely going to be more triggering and cause bloating, indigestion, autoimmune, inflammation. And again, all of that's going to contribute to you looking much more lean, much healthier, much just more kind of streamlined in what you're going for with the weight loss goals. And this brings me to my third and final point on this video, which is all about what weight loss is probably mostly going to come down to, which is eating at a deficit. And this means taking in less calories so that your body is expending more than you're actually utilizing and eating in and ingesting. So if you're operating at a deficit, meaning that you're operating and using up more energy than you're consuming, then your body is going to have to tap into the natural reserves of fat, of other parts of energy stores in your body, which is going to lean you down. And that's going to allow you to lose weight. The thing is, it's hard to eat at a deficit if you're not tracking your macros. It's hard to eat at a deficit if you're eating all these new foods that are highly dense in nutrition and calories, because in a sense, it seems to yourself like you're eating plenty of calories, but you're not overeating. But if you're really, really dedicated to losing fat and getting thin and trim, then you really need to learn to eat at a deficit. And this comes down to the two other aspects I talked about, really staying ketogenic, because again, by removing the carbs, your body's gonna be able to naturally just metabolically utilize the fat in your reserves. And secondly, tracking the macros, what I talked about in the beginning, because if you're not tracking your macros, you don't know how many calories you're supposed to be eating. you don't know how many calories you're actually eating, and you don't know the actual macro, the protein to fat to carbohydrate composition of what you are eating. So these three things go really hand in hand. The ketogenic aspect is really powerful because we just know from all the research and the studies you can go on the web and find that a ketogenic diet is going to dramatically allow you to burn more fat within your body. The macro tracking is going to complement eating at a deficit because it's going to allow you to see, all right, well, I am in ketosis because I'm at my 70 to 80% fat intake to protein, and I'm not eating a lot of carbs or no carbs at all. And then on top of that, you're going to see your total calories, which is going to be at a deficit, and you're going to be able to drop that down and go, all right, well, today I only ate 2,300 calories. My goal is 2,600. I'm below what I wanted for my target, which is fine, and that's going to allow you to hit a deficit. So all of that said, is the carnivore diet great for weight loss? Absolutely. I think it's one of the best diets in general for longevity, for health, for vitality, for basically for allowing you to get to the optimal physique that you want to be at. Since I started the carnivore diet, I've seen myself lean down and actually have challenges keeping on body fat. And also I've seen my skin clear up. I've seen my inflammation and my clarity and my mood all move into improved directions. And for weight loss, I think it could be tremendously powerful. Now, I will mention, this is a big mindset shift. If you're coming from a carbohydrate variety-based diet, trying to do this all in one shot, it might be better to look at some of the other videos I have about how to get started on the carnivore diet, where you can focus on your mindset, maybe transition into a more broad ketogenic diet first, and then go into the deeper trenches in more narrow focus of actually doing a carnivore diet for weight loss. But overall, if you're gonna do the carnivore diet and you wanna do it for weight loss, you need to focus on learning to track your macros, set those goals, stay ketogenic by doing that 2-to-1 fat ratio, and eat at a deficit. Because if you're eating at a deficit, you're going to be moving the needle on the scale in the direction you want it to go. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, I thank you very much. There's a lot of other videos on here about the carnivore diet. My name is Carnivore Kurt. I am your host, and I put out videos twice a week. And until next time, keep crushing, and thank you so much for watching.